Hey guys, today's DIY is all about decorating your table for Christmas. I'm going to show you 4 simple tablescapes and how I construct them and put them together. Starting off, we've got this amazing dough bowl. I'm going to pull everything out and show you how you can make the exact look at home. Okay, to get started, I've got a piece of fabric that's actually like a vintage green cloth that's underneath. You really could use any square of fabric, and I have it on the diagonal. Then I have my dough bowl, and inside my dough bowl I have Garland. You can buy this at your local grocery store, and what I did is it comes in a big strand. I think this was from Costco, it's like 25 feet. Is I measured my dough bowl and then I cut each piece to length. So this is actually 2 separate pieces, and then I just layered them into my dough bowl. Then the next thing you're gonna do is add on your logs. So I don't like things to look exactly the same, so I'm doing 2 logs on one side and 1 log on the other. The next layer is my pine cones. These are cinnamon scented ones that I got from, I think, our local grocery store. Home Depot carries them. I've seen them at Hobby Lobby. Or you can just get them from outside. And you just want to kind of nestle them in, kind of random, not a pattern for sure. Once you've got your pine cones in, you're ready to add some color, and you can kind of move things around. I think this is a little pine cone heavy over here, so I'm just gonna add that over there and then balance it out. It's important to kind of stand back and look at it and decide if that's the way you want it to be. And the next step is I'm just taking these berry picks. I've had them for years and years, but you can pick them up at your craft store. And I'm just putting them in to add some color. And there you have it. We've got one centerpiece all done. So my next centerpiece, I'm going to bust out my Crocs and show you how to style those. So for tablescape number 2, I'm going to be using my antique Crocs. I've started off with my number 4 Croc, and then I've added this flat velvet ribbon, and instead of tying a bow, I just did a double knot. I feel like that's a little less girly and a little more gender neutral than having a big bow on it, but you could also tie a bow if you want. So this number 2 Croc has a design on the front, so I'm not putting a bow on it, but I'm adding it so that way I just don't have one thing in the middle. So I've got my number 2 Croc in here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and layer in these little vases that I got from IKEA. They have the same flat velvet ribbon on them. And I'm gonna put one on each side. Then I'm gonna add these fake plants, which are also from IKEA, just to add a little bit of greenery and balance out what we're doing. The next thing I'm going to do is fill in my number 4. I've got a pine tree that I picked up at my local hardware store. It's a live tree. I water it every couple of days. It's actually growing, so it gets kind of tall. It's almost up to my light fixture now, but it still looks pretty cute. So I just put the pot and all right inside, and I've got that. And then the next thing is to fill this. I just used 2 of these old ends that I had of reclaimed wood. You could also use birchwood logs or anything like that. I just kind of layer it in there. And then just to add a little color, I'm going to bust out my berry picks here and just put them in. And there you go. You've got another easy tablescape. Okay, so for look number 3, I'm starting off with my grandma doily. I picked this up at, I think it was like a DI, which is our local thrift store. Any runner would do. A burlap runner would also be really pretty. And then I'm going to add my chicken feeder. It also has my natural greenery. If you don't want to use fresh greenery, you could also just use a garland from your local craft store. I love these chicken feeders because you can change out your garland for the season and really do anything. But I'm just using more of that Costco garland. And then I'm going to go ahead and place in some candles. A little trick with candles and things like this is odd numbers are pleasing to the eye. So in this case, I'm going to use 3, but you could also use 5. That would also look good. So I've got my candles in here. And then just to add a little bit of color, I'm going to add in some red berries. If red is not a color that matches your decor, feel free to change out the berries any way that you want. They come all different ones. If you like a little more sparkle, you can always do that too. So this is our 3rd centerpiece. And last but not least, I'm going to show you a table centerpiece that works great if you've got a round or square table. Not everybody has a long farm table, so there's also a way that you can decorate it and it's proportionate to your table size. So I took my fabric and I put it into a square. If you don't have fabric, you could also use a cloth napkin. That's one of my favorite things to put in the middle of the table. And then on top of that, I'm going to add a cake plate. Mine is green, which makes it perfect, but any color cake plate would look really cute. And then on top of that, I've got this vintage silver tray. If you didn't have the tray, you could still do the decor in the middle. And I've got 3 pine cones and a little bit of greenery around that. I'm going to put my dome over the top of it. And then I'm going to add these cute jars to each side. They've got a little chalkboard thing. If you're good at chalk art, you could put a cute little word in there. I've got spice drops and then vintage ribbon candy. I like both these candies because they're really visually pleasing, nice bright colors. They're lots of fun. And my kids don't like the way they taste, so they won't eat them. So they'll look pretty all season. And then I'm just gonna add my Mr. and Mrs. Claus on here. These are candles, but if you had a Santa and Mrs. Claus salt and pepper shaker, that would also work. Alright guys, I showed you 4 different ideas of how you can decorate your table this holiday season. I hope it inspires you to use the decor you have to make your home beautiful. Be sure to comment below with any questions you might have or how you're going to decorate your home for Christmas. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more DIY.